Howdy partners, and welcome to the start of a brand new series of Let's Play Planet Coaster here on Theme Park Worldwide. In this new series, I'm going to be building the ultimate Wild West themed park. Welcome to Frontier Adventure. Now this is going to be a fantastic park with lots of big thrill rides in. There's also going to be some smaller attractions as well. However, the big focus with this park is some big Wild West themed rides. And starting off in this episode by building the main entrance, you can see already straight in with the first attraction that guests will see when they step into this park. Right there at the bottom of the entrance street will be a train ride. You can't have a Wild West themed park, a journey through the frontier, without a good old steam train. So I thought let's put that straight in down here at the entrance. But yes, welcome to this brand new series. Episodes will be online every Wednesday for the foreseeable future for this series, so make sure that you stay tuned every Wednesday to Theme Park Worldwide if you love our Planet Coaster content, because we're going to build the ultimate Wild West theme park, starting off here with the main entrance. So as you can see, we're just putting this first building in on the left-hand side there of the entrance street. The plan is to put various different restaurants, food stands, shops, and of course your facilities like toilets, like you can see that we're putting in just there, and lots of different buildings down here at the entrance. So there's going to be a way out to the left into the rest of the park, and also off to the right as well. Now you might be thinking, why have I put the train station just off to the left of the main entrance? Why didn't I put it directly down at the bottom of the street? Well, I thought it'd be a lot more impressive for guests when they're actually walking into the park to see the train actually just passing straight past the end of the pathway there at the end of this Wild West entrance street. So I thought, to enable that, let's put the station off to one of the sides. There was no particular reason it was the left hand side. It could have been on the right, but with some of the plans that I've got in place for the park, I thought, yeah, maybe just off to the left hand side. That's where I'm planning on putting the first major ride in the park, which I'll reveal and talk to you about later on. So I thought, yeah, I'm just going to put it off to the left there with the train station. Already you can start to see how this is coming on for the entrance with the pathways that have gone into place, the first building on the corner, and then this second building that I've just started, which is actually going to be a good old-fashioned saloon. Again, you can't have a Wild West park without a saloon. I'm sure we'll actually have a couple of saloons actually throughout the park, because the plan is, as much as it's all going to be Wild West themed, we're going to have a lot of different towns that are going to be represented at this park. That's the whole plan with this, to have a few different Wild West towns that are maybe competing with each other and not necessarily getting on with each other as well. That's the plan with this park. So all of that will kind of come to fruition as the series unfolds in front of us, because at the moment I don't really have a clue what I'm going to be doing 5 episodes from now. However, I am pretty clear on how I want the entrance to be here, and I've got plans, like I say, for a big ride which I'm going to be building in the next episode, and that's going to be going right next to the main entrance here, just off to the left hand side. You can see I've put quite a lot of signage there on the exterior of the saloon, and the plan is, because I love that when I go to theme parks, just small little details that you find at these parks, and little bits of signage that might relate to a story, and of course this entrance area is a big town that we're putting in, and it's actually going to be like a celebration going on when you walk into this park with this town. There's going to be a celebration going on, and that's just going to be the theme of this area. You know, it's always a celebration when you're walking in to Frontier Adventure, and of course the town that we will name down here as well. You can see now we've done them couple of buildings on the left hand side, starting to put in a little bit of the fencing around the area, and also the main entrance building to the park as well is now starting to go into place. So the plan with this, like you can see there, I've put 4 squares together, 4 grids, and then we've moved it over the top as well with that one to make it a total of 12 squares for the size of the main entrance. The plan with this is to follow the theme of the other buildings that we've put around the side. We've got that nice Wild West railing that fits really well with these buildings, and I'm really looking forward to just experimenting with this theme a lot more, because I've not really built anything huge Wild West for a long time in Planet Coaster. Of course, it's been over 4 years now since I first started playing the game when it was released in 2016. Blimey, 2021 now. It's crazy, isn't it, to think it's that long since the game came out. Still feels like yesterday. But yeah, like, you know, I haven't really built anything huge Wild West since I did that big area, if you remember, right back at the start of Volcano Springs, my first ever series. I did that and I really liked it, so I'm going to take a little bit of inspiration from that, but I feel like my theming capability has really come on a long way since then. So I'm really going to go into a lot more detail, different shapes for buildings. I feel like I've come a lot better at doing theming and rides since then, so it should come together even better than that did, because I really liked what I did at the entrance. There was an RMC coaster just off to the left in that area, and also I put a log flume in there. There was one flat ride, and it was a great area, but like I say, this is a full-on theme park, and we're really going to explore everything to do with the Wild West. There's going to be lots of rides, some big coasters, some entertainment. We're going to have like a Wild West stunt show. Going to be all sorts going on in this park. There's going to be some big water rides as well. It's going to be fantastic. Now, in terms of the inspiration for me with this park, of course, I've been to quite a few theme parks now that have got either a strong Wild West theme or the whole park had that sort of American vibe to it. One of those being one of my all-time favourite parks that I really do miss because it did close quite a long time ago now since it closed, but the American Adventure. It was another one of my local parks actually. It was only about 45 minutes away from where I'm based. Of course, I'm not far away from Alton Towers, but we was lucky enough to have another local park at the American Adventure that was absolutely fantastic. The theme in there and the shows, the rides, it was brilliant. It really was, and it was such a shame when that park closed. A lot of poor management, unfortunately, that led to the closure. They ended up removing a lot of their thrill rides, putting in more family stuff, and it just didn't work for them, unfortunately, and attendance dropped and the park closed. And to this day, the site's pretty much still empty. There's rumoured to be houses going on. Well, there's plans for that, but not a lot seems to have happened. Last time I had a walk up there earlier this year, actually. I had a little stroll around. There's all public footpaths in the area. So that's one of the parks, anyway, that I'm using as my inspiration for this. You can see now I've done that front entrance building. I'm starting to work on the buildings on the right hand side now of this street. So yeah, a bit of a different style entrance to what I've done before in Planet Coaster. I thought, let's go with more of a square street, have lots of individual buildings. Also, I've gone with a bit of a different tactic here as well, because normally I like to put all my buildings in first and then do the theming, windows, railings, all them details after. But I've done it different with this, just for a change really. I thought, no, I'm going to do each building separately and kind of put the details on as I'm doing it. Like this building now, for example, I wouldn't have put them railings on until later in past projects, but I thought, no, let's put them on now, and gives me a bit of an idea on exactly how the buildings are going to look, and with each one being like a different shop, or we're going to have like a jail down here, lots of storage, that sort of thing, the sheriff's office, city hall's going to go in, of course a funeral parlour, you know, there's going to be all sorts of stuff down here. This is the jail that I'm just starting working on now actually. So yeah, you know, I thought let's do the buildings individually and put the details on, and of course I can always come back and add little details on later if I want to, but by this stage I'm actually really pleased with how these buildings are coming on so far. You know, I've done 5 buildings down here at the entrance, and I think it's looking pretty awesome. Now, another couple of parks that have really inspired me, what I visited actually a couple of years ago, and that's Dollywood and Silver Dollar City, both of which in the United States of America, both of which having a bit of a Wild West frontier theme to them, especially Silver Dollar City, where the whole park kind of feels like that, with that vibe. The building style, the architecture of the buildings, the rides that they've got there, I absolutely loved that. So I'm going to be mixing a bit of American Adventure with a bit of Silver Dollar City, with some of Dollywood in there too. Of course, Dollywood's got a lot of big coasters, so yeah, the plan is to kind of, you know, bring that element into this, but all with my own unique ideas. We're not going to be building exact clones of rides or replicas or anything like that. You know, it's all going to be very different, and I've got a lot of great ideas. I've mentioned this in the past, but the Wild West is actually my favourite theme for a park. There's something about the Wild Frontier that I just really like, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to do a full part based on this. So it's going to be really interesting to see how I can vary up the areas and buildings and rides, because building a theme park all of one theme is actually more challenging than you might expect. If you're doing something with different themes, you know, you can kind of think, oh, you know, I don't need to do this area as big, I'm running out of ideas. But you can't really do that when you're doing a whole park with one theme. You've kind of got to just go with it and try and make things a little bit different, change the colours, change the type of wood on the buildings, and you are going to see that throughout, because this probably won't be the only sheriff's office we have. It won't be the only city hall or saloon. There's going to be others, but we're going to be having different towns, and they're going to have different vibes and feels to them throughout. This is actually going to be quite a happy town. Everything's very positive. We're going to put a lot of banners up for this celebration that's happening here. We're going to put a lot of flags on the different buildings. You're going to see that, the red, white and blue flags that we're going to put on, because there's this big celebration that's going on here, and I thought that would be a nice way to open this park with a celebration taking place on this street, and that's exactly what I'm planning to do with it. So as you can see, I'm just putting in some more details now over there on the sheriff's office and the jail. Of course, we've got the traditional bars on the windows all down the sides, lots of different boxes. We've got a staff room just in there, so we're going to put like a sheriff's only sign on there. Along with that, of course, a couple of food outlets that I've put in down the side as well. And that's going to be another thing actually with this park, what I've never really done as a focus before in Planet Coaster. There's going to be a big focus on areas that have just got restaurants and shops and not particularly any rides in them. My plan is to have a really nice water area at some point and have a bit of a food festival going on sort of idea, you know, like somewhere selling like craft beers and that sort of idea. Chilled out down by the water, maybe have a big sort of steamship. That is the plan with that going forward, and that'll happen of course at some point, probably in the next few episodes as we start to build this park further backwards. You can see here now I'm putting in another couple of buildings. This time they're just going to be fake buildings, so to speak. There's going to be nothing in them because there's no access. They're on the other side there of the train track. I've got an idea for a ride, what's actually going to be going behind these buildings at some point in the future, possibly a water ride there. So there's going to be no access from the rear into them buildings. So I thought we'll just put these as kind of fake facades. They could possibly be offices if this was a real theme park, or just general back of house areas. But yeah, I thought let's put these in down the end of the street. I didn't want to put like just a hill down at the bottom and trees. I thought no, let's really block this sort of entrance in, a bit of a courtyard if you like, and have these different buildings. So the building on the left hand side, that's going to be a hotel. Not a real hotel, just a hotel as part of the themed area. It's not actually going to be set up as a functioning hotel in the park. You find that with a lot of Wild West areas, that they love doing fake hotels and that sort of thing, you know, as part of the areas, just because it fits with the overall theme. And then, of course, we've got the city hall just here. I was going to say the city hotel then. That's next door. Here we go. So we've got the Grand Hotel and also City Hall that are in place there next to each other. City Hall being the heart of these celebrations that are going on inside the town. So I'm just making sure there that we've got enough clearance, because of course we've got the train that's going to pass through there. I'm just making sure that we've got enough clearance there with the balconies. Trying to really vary up the buildings a lot in this park. I want a lot of different changes of elevations, a lot of balconies, all inspired by Wild West attractions and theme parks that I've been to. I'm going to mention a couple more now actually. Sundown Adventureland, somewhere I only went for the first time last year. But they had an absolutely wonderful Wild West themed area there that was brilliant. A couple of walkthrough attractions, animatronics. It was brilliant. Really enjoyed Sundown Adventureland. Check out the vlog if you've not seen it. I can't believe I've never been before. It's a British park. It's not located too far away from us actually. Only just over an hour away. But to go there for the first time was brilliant. And yes, it is aimed at kids, but what they've got there is a fantastic variety of family attractions. I'd have loved that when I was a kid. I wish my parents took me there. Along with that, another part that has got a big sort of frontier theme to it is Freipertus City, which is in France. And I went to that a couple of years ago, and I really enjoyed that park. And like I say, that had some wonderful buildings and architecture. So I'm kind of looking at what I saw there, and I've got I remember the Wild West stuff a lot more than a lot of things, to be honest, because it is my favourite theme at a park. Of course, you can't forget the classic Frontierland at the Disney parks, which is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? I mean, you look at the likes of Big Thunder Mountain out there at the Disney parks, especially at Disneyland Paris, and that is a gorgeous attraction, isn't it? Located in the middle of the water, around all the rivers of America. Frontierland at the Disney parks really is absolutely fantastic, and you're going to see some parts of this park inspired by Frontierland as well, but there's going to be no direct copies. We're certainly not going to be putting in a clone of Big Thunder Mountain here or anything like that. Yes, I'm sure there's going to be some mine themed attractions, but we're not going to be copying Big Thunder Mountain. I want to be a bit more unique than that and put in some different ideas. So as you can see, the entrance is really starting to take shape now and come together great. We put the pathways in first, so it meant that I had a good idea where I wanted the buildings to be. We've got this gateway that's gone in there. Just a lot of these wagons and gateways are going to have sort of signs down there, just to kind of explain what they are. They're going to be sort of part of the history, if you like, of this town. So they've got plaques next to them, little signs like the gateway, and also like the wagons. We've got a little stage over in the corner there. At points that would actually have a performer on there, maybe a live singer, somebody playing the piano, of course, on there. All them little things that really add to the parks. And entertainment for me is going to be a big part of this park. We're going to have a lot of entertainers around. We're going to have a couple of big show venues actually built in the park. I know that there is some animatronic stuntmen for the Wild West that we can have in this park in the game. So the plan is to bring those in and really make the areas feel alive. I think that's what this park needs more than ever. These areas need to feel like they're living, they're breathing. There's people actually living in these buildings, and I want it to feel like it's coming alive more than any other project that I've done so far. Of course, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Along with that as well, check out the past Planet Coaster videos that I have uploaded. There is a playlist with all the other series that I've done. I've built many different theme parks. My most recent project to this at the end of last year was a Christmas themed park, Christmas Wonderland, that seemed to go down really well. You guys really enjoyed it, that much so I decided to not even have a gap in between Planet Coaster. That only ended last week, and we're back 1 week later with a brand new park for us all to stick our teeth into, and hopefully you're enjoying it so far. As always with this series, it's going to continue with your name and storyline suggestions. Of course, I've only built a part of a train station so far, but with the next episode I am going to need your name suggestions coming in, so I'm really looking forward to hearing those, because what am I going to build? Well, there's going to be a large roller coaster literally opposite that train station, and as you can see, I'm putting in them trees just behind the saloon, but still leaving quite a big space there. Like I said, that we're going to be having a big focus on some large thrill rides in this park. I've not done some big thrill rides for quite a long time in the game, so I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, we're going to be putting in some big thrill rides. The first attraction that I'm going to put in the next episode, number 2, next Wednesday, is going to be a classic. It's going to be a Gerstlauer Eurofighter, so that's going to be coming in. So I'm looking forward to installing that and building it in the next episode. Episode 2 will feature the full ride being built from the ground up, all of the theming, and of course taking you for an on-ride POV of it as well. So that'll be coming up next week, something for you to look forward to. It's literally going to be opposite the train station there, and take up that portion of land. The plan is to not actually do a vertical lift hill with a beyond vertical drop. There's going to be a launch, so it's going to be a launched Gerstlauer Eurofighter, not an infinity coaster. It's going to be an actual Eurofighter, going to classic but with a launch. So looking forward to sharing that, something for you all to look forward to next Wednesday here on Theme Park Worldwide. Along with that as well, I've just uploaded loads of new videos, different series, all sorts. Have started a Future of series. I've just started with the Future of Alton Towers. We had a new video in our Remembering series with Remembering Toyland Tours. Another new series of reviews started yesterday with Hero at Flamingo Land, and also a top 10 roller coasters, finally an updated version. So loads of new videos to start 2021, and that is going to continue. We've got loads planned, going to be really busy, especially throughout January and February, filming lots of exciting videos, of course from home, that I'm looking forward to sharing with you all. As you can see then here, put quite a few different signs around, and now it's time to add these banners, because like I say, we've got this big celebration that is taking place here in this area, at Frontier Adventure. And we've already got a couple of animatronics around actually that you can see up on the top. If this was a real theme park, they would actually be real actors. They wouldn't be animatronics, they'd be real actors that would be entertaining guests coming into this park and just at random points throughout the day. Another park that I'm using for inspiration is actually Slagharen, which is in the Netherlands. That's a great park, been there a couple of times now. They've got a beautiful Wild West streets and some brilliant buildings and stuff there. Gold Rush is a fantastic Gerstlauer coaster, so kind of, you know, using inspiration from there a little bit. So yeah, you're going to see little bits that might remind you of certain other parks, but there's going to be no blatant rip-offs of other parks. It's all going to be very much my own ideas, but might be inspired with some attractions and ideas that are going to go into this park. I tell you what though, I'm really pleased with how this is coming on. For the main entrance, I do struggle sometimes to actually do a main entrance first. Like going back to the first ever series, you might remember I actually built the Wild West area first before I built the main entrance to the park and that big grand hotel, mainly because I didn't really know how I wanted the entrance to look. With this, I'm just so pleased with how the entrance looks. Like, we've got a nice range of buildings, nothing too tall, but it's very immersive. You step into here, a very immersive themed area. Got the Undertaker just there. Yeah, but lots of random scenery around. Like, we've got these wanted posters that just fit really well, and of course the celebration that's taking place throughout the town with the different signage that we've got, like on City Hall, and also these banners as well. But yeah, I'm just really feeling like this area is coming alive. It feels like there's people actually living here and working here. It actually feels like a real Wild West town, and that is exactly what I wanted. So yeah, like I say, come and tune into the episode next week. As you can tell, we're nearly at the end of episode 1 in the Frontier Adventure series, but it will continue next week with building a Gerstlauer Eurofighter. Very heavily themed station building. We're going to have a lot of nice landscaping around the ride, some good near-miss head chopper elements as well. And that's the plan to add in. And following on from that, it's actually going to be 2 really action-packed episodes of coaster building, because I'll tell you now, the episode after that, number 3, I'm going to be building another coaster. I'm not going to tell you quite what it is yet, but there's going to be another coaster, and that's going to be just off to the right-hand side of this area. So you imagine walking into this park, big coaster on the left, even bigger coaster on the right. It's going to be incredible. So there we go, a couple of screenshots there just to show you how the park's looking at the end of episode 1. Let me know what you think to the series so far. Do you enjoy the entrance that I've built? Down below in the video comments. And thanks for joining me, Sean Sandbrook, here on Theme Park Worldwide. I'll see you next Wednesday with the next episode, and that leaves me with one final thing to say. Howdy all! And that means to say, get out there and keep on riding. See you all next week.